What's up, guys? Let's go ahead and finish the second part of the final exam, Algebra 2 review here. Number 21. So 21 to 40 today. It says, what are the coordinates of the outlier? Right? So the outlier is the point that is not, with the rest of them. It's the one that's all by itself. So for us here, the outlier would be this point up there, right? All the other ones are next to the line. That would be 6, and then it goes up to 9, so it's 6, 9. That would be C. 22. 2 is the solution to this inequality, true or false? Well, we're going to plug it in the calculator. That's the easiest way to do this, to be honest. Right? So for the 2, that's where x is at. And then the 2 here is y. They both happen to be the same number. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to plug in a 2. And then since y is the same number, I'm going to plug in a 2 here too, as well. So all those numbers are going to be changed to 2. And I'm going to see if this symbol is true or not. We can use a calculator for that to make it easier. So I'm going to type in 2 times 2, because instead of x, I'm going to put 2, minus 6 times 2. And I want to know, is that greater than the other side, right? And the calculator will tell me true or false. So instead of putting x squared, I'm going to put 2 squared, and then plus 4 times 2, and then minus 8. It says false, so our answer is false. That's how you do a question like this, right? You just get the x and the y and plug it in. 23. The 30 members of Acquire are trying to raise at least, that sounds important, at least $1,500 to cover travel costs to a sinking camp. They have already raised $600. Which inequality could you solve to find the average amounts each member can raise that will at least meet the goal? Okay, so I think first we'll look at the signs here. Right? So this one right here. Letter A says 30x plus 600 has to be greater than 1,500. That sounds like a possibility, right? It could be, because you're trying to raise at least 1,500, so you want to raise more than 1,500. So that's a possibility. The next one here, letter C, says 30x plus 600 has to be less than 1,500. Well, that's wrong, because you don't want to raise less than $1,500. That means you can't go. Letter B, 30x plus 600 that's the same thing as letter B. That's wrong as well, because you don't want to be less than 1,500. So letter D. Letter D says you want 30x plus 600 to be greater than or equal to 1,500. Well, yeah, you want it to be greater than, right? Or at least equal to, right? And since it says here you want it to be at least, it would be this one here. Because in letter A, you're only doing the ones that are greater than. But letter D says you can at least, can you make it 1,500? Yeah, it's greater than. I mean, it's equal to 1,500. And yeah, you have to make 1,500 even or above that. So 24. M squared plus 7 equals 88. M squared plus 7 equals 88. Subtract the 7. M squared is equal to 81. To get rid of the little 2 there, the x1 and the 2, we take the square root of both sides, right? And don't forget, when you take the square root cancels the 2. That's the whole point of that, right? So it canceled the 2. So we're just n. So what is the square root of 81? Well, the square root of 81 is 9, a positive 9, and a negative 9. That's why they put plus minus 9 here. (25) Solve by the extraction of roots method. We're going to do the exact same thing we did a little while ago. On number 24, negative 5x squared is equal to negative 50. Divide by negative 5. Let's cancel. X squared is equal to negative 50 divided by negative 5. That is what, 10? To get rid of the exponent, we take the square root of both sides. The x cancels that. The square root cancels the 2, and we're left with x is equal to a positive square root of 10 and a negative square root of 10. So the answer is D here. Because every time you take the square root, there's always 2 answers. 26. Some students want to order shirts with their school logo. One company charges $9.65 per shirt plus a setup fee of $43. So $9.65 plus $43 just to start it, right? Let's see if I can find that. So one company charges $9.65 per shirt. So this one's good. This one's good. This one's good, and this one's good, right? All of those have $9.65 per shirt, so all of those work. But you have to pay plus a setup fee of $43. So you want plus $43 next to it. That's the only one that has plus $43. So that's the answer. Nothing else matches that. And then just to make sure we really wanted to, this company here charges $8.40 per shirt plus $58. And that matches that right there. $8.40 per shirt plus $58. So the answer is B. Number 27. Dustin wants to buy 9 tickets to the circus. The lower balcony costs $20.95, while the upper balcony costs $12.50. How many of each type of ticket did he buy if he spent $146.30? So the lower balcony was $20.95 for the lower balcony. And then plus $12.50 for each one in the upper balcony. He spent $146.30. Well, let's plug it in, right? This has 3 lower. Unplug 3 right there. And then this one over here says 6 upper. So I'm going to put 6 right there and see if that works. So on the calculator, if I did 20.95 times 3 for the lower plus 12.50 times 6 for the upper, if I get 146.30, I'm done. Okay, I did not get 146.50 and 146.30, so the A is wrong. Okay, we'll go to the next one now. And we're going to type 6 and 3 now. So 3 for the upper and 6 for the lower. So 6 and 3. So 20.95 times 6 plus 12.50 times 3. 163.20. That doesn't work. Keep on going. This has 5. And this one has 4. So let's try 5 and 4 now. 20.95 times 4. No, times 5, sorry. Times 5. Plus 12.50 times 4. 154.75. That doesn't work. So it should be letter D, but let's make sure. 4 for the lower. 5 for the upper. 20.95 times 4 plus 1250 times 5. There it is, finally. So yeah, that's why that's the answer. Again, that's what you would write on your work. Write this down as work. That's how I did this question. (28) What happens when you graph the exact same equation twice? In other words, there's two lines on top of each other. What happens? That's when you have infinite amount of solutions. Remember that one solution, that's when your lines cross like that. No solution is when you have two lines that don't touch. Which equation matches? This is simple, just graph it and match it, right? On graph. I just go in order. 3 to the x. I'm doing letter A first, plus 5. That does not match. 5 onto 3 raised to the x. I'm doing letter B right now. Plus 1. That does not match. Negative. Negative 3 to the x plus 5. There you go, that one matches. So letter C. Number 30 is another question just like it, right? So let's just do the calculator again while I'm here. Tab, change this stuff. Which graph matches that? 2 parentheses. 3 raised to the x, and then plus 6. This graph starts on top and turns up. That would be letter B. Letter D is too low, so it's got to be letter B. This graph here shows exponential growth, decay, or linear. Well, it's not a line, so that's wrong. So it goes up, that would be growth. 32. Mark took out a loan for $25,690 to purchase a truck at the interest rate of 5.2% compounded monthly. How much will he pay after 5 years? Okay. Remember that interest rate, divide that by 100. That's 0.052. The monthly means n is equal to 12. How much will we get paid after 5 years? Okay. The formula that we need is P onto 1 plus R divided by N, and then N times T. P is how much he put down, right? How much did he put down? He put that much down, 25,690. 25,690. Then there's a 1 plus R is the interest rate. How much is the interest rate? That's the interest rate, 0.052. N is how much time he's going to pay per month. Per year, that's N, 12, so 12. And then N on top again, so that's 12. Times T. T is how many years? 5. Just put that in the calculator. 25,690, parentheses 1 plus a fraction, 0.052 divided by 12, and then on top we have 12 times 5. So 33,299. Where is this? Here it is. Letter D. 33. You borrowed $1,690 for 5.5 years at an interest rate of 5.7 compounded annually. how much extra did you pay by taking out the loan? How much extra did you pay? Be careful with that question. How much extra did you pay? So we'll get into that in a little bit, right? Let's get into this numbers here. Remember that 5.7. Divide that by 100. That's 0.057. Compounded annually. Annually means that n is equal to 1. Okay, so the formula. Again, the formula is, again, it's right here. There we go. Okay, so P is the principal amount. That would be 1690. 1,690. 1 plus the interest rate. The interest rate was 0.057. Divided by n. And I told you annually means n is 1. And then it's 1 times the t. 5.5 years, so that's 5.5. In the calculator. 1690. Parentheses 1 plus make a fraction. 0.057. Then there's 1 in the bottom. And then on top here, it's 1 times 5.5. 2292.45. Now you're tempted to choose A, right, because it's right there. But the question said, how much extra did you pay? Well, at the end of my loan, I ended up paying $2292.45, but I only took out $1690. So I paid an extra $600 in interest, $602. That is the answer here. So be careful what it asks you. Right, so that's the answer here, C, not A. Be careful. Number 34. Kennedy won $3,000 from a radio contest. If she puts this money into a bank account that earns 2.9 interest compounded quarterly, how much will she earn in 10 years? Okay, so same formula. P onto 1 plus R divided by N, and then N times T up top. P is the principal. How much did she get? $3,000. So that's going to be here, 3,000 first. 1 plus R. R is the interest rate, 2.9, right? But divide that by 100. 2.9 divided by 100. That's 0.029. That's the interest rate. N is how much she gets compounded. So quarterly. Quarterly means that N is equal to 4. So 4. Then there's a 4 again. And then times the T. How long is she paying in years? 10 years. 4 times 10. In the calculator. 3,000 parentheses 1 plus 0.029. On the bottom is going to be 4. And then on top it's 4 times 10. So $4,005. There we go. Number 35. 35 I'm going to do in the calculator, right? Menu 3, 1. Log of 2 x, get out of there, and then put equals 3, and then comma x. Answer is 8. Now 36 we cannot do in the calculator, I don't think. Let me show you. Because log of x, and then you put 32, and you put equals 5. So you can't do it. So we'll do this one by hand, number 36. It's easy. Remember that you pick the number, or you pick the letter or the number that's in the bottom, the little baby one, the one next to the letter G. That's x here. So it's x. and the number or the letter that's after the equal sign goes on top. And then equals the number that's left over, 32. So what number to the fifth power gives us 32? So if you think it's A, then you would say that's 1/5 to the fifth power. Does that give me 32? If it does, that's the answer. If not, you keep on going on. Right? So in the calculator, control divide 1 and 5 raised to the fifth power. That does not give me 32. So keep on going one by one till we get the answer, right? And you're going to see that the answer should be letter D. Because two to the fifth power is 32. 2 to the fifth power is 32. That's why. $37, I can put that in the calculator. Menu 3(1). Control divide log of 6. And the parentheses goes 1 divided by 6. You can type it like that, or you can do it all fancy and do your control divide if you want. It's up to you. And then get out of there and put equals x, comma x. So -1. $38. Put that in the calculator. Menu 3(1). 5. Put on top. -3x minus 1. Get back down. Equals 25, comma x. -1. 39. Menu 3(1). 7 raised to the, remember, I'm not going to put n, I'm going to put x, because that's so the calculator can understand what I'm doing. Get down, do -8 is equal to 6, comma x. -8.6. And the last question here, menu 3(1). 8 raised to x plus 1, get down, and then put equals 3, and then comma x. -0.47. There it is. And that's the last 20 questions of the review. Right. Make sure you write everything down. You know how to do everything in the calculator and whatnot, so you can do well on your final. All right. Later, guys.